The Secrets of the Machine God update has launched for Darktide, and it comes with 4 new weapons, a brand new map, and a couple of balance changes. But the best thing that the update introduced was an increase to the game's difficulty, which, as far as I know, wasn't even referenced in the update's original patch notes. This difficulty increase is a real game changer, and if this is the direction that Darktide is moving in, then I'm totally here for it. But let's dive right into the new content, starting with our 4 new weapons. I want to talk about my initial impressions, which ones are good, which ones are bad, and what can Fat Shark do to make them funner. Let's start with the most important weapon included in the update, the bolt pistol. The gun is usable on the Zealot, Psyker, and Veteran, and it's got smooth animations, snappy handling, high AoE stagger, can be built to do high precision damage, and features a pretty quick reload speed given how powerful the gun feels. Unfortunately, everything goes to shit when you try to aim this thing, or when you try to fire consecutive shots. If your name is Telepots, or you're a god gamer, then this is going to be the best gun in the game for you because it does pretty crazy damage if you're landing every single headshot. My opinion of any sort of bolter weapon in a 40k game is that they should always be balanced to be among some of the best feeling and best performing weapons in the game because they're so iconic to the setting. Some changes Fat Shark could make to make the bolt pistol better and funner would be to reduce or completely remove the weapon sway when aiming down sights, reduce the recoil dramatically, and buff the puncture blessing so that it applies bleed on enemies hit by the gun's explosions. Also, puncture should totally be added to the bolt gun. The concept of the blessing is really cool, and if it's buffed, it can be really good and, more importantly, really fun. Next up, we have the Assault Shotgun, which is a double-barreled shotgun that's thematically cool just like the bolt pistol, but really lacks in the range department. I think the people who are going to enjoy this are going to be Zealots who are using the Crusher or the new Shock Maul, and Blades of Faith who want an up-close burst damage option for bosses or packs of lighter armor targets. Honestly, Fat Shark should consider allowing this weapon to completely shred through Carapace armor, which might go against the reality of what this weapon may be able to do, but would really solidify its role from a balance perspective. Next we have the Shock Mauls, which have a lot of potential to be really good. They're quick, they have solid damage across all armor types with the exception of unyielding enemies, and they provide really good crowd control. Anyone who has another primary means of dealing high single target damage can reasonably consider the Shock Maul for their build if they're having trouble surviving against large mixed hordes. That being said, Fat Shark should increase the damage by about 15% for each Shock Maul, and it really needs to remove the mobility penalties that this weapon family has. Additionally, the electrocution mechanic and all of the blessings that are associated with it should be given to the Power Sword, Crusher, Thunderhammer, and Power Maul. There's a lot of potential here for some good, creative blessing combinations. Last but not least, we've got the Pickaxes, which are exclusive to the Ogryn. Now, I don't play Ogryn much because I don't really like rocks, I think they're dumb. But if you do, then you'll be glad to know that each of the pickaxes caters to a different kind of playstyle. My personal favorite is the Carsolus because it comes with an amazing combo variety, and I think it just feels really good to use. If I could ask Fat Shark to change anything about these weapons, it would be to increase the attack speed of the weapons slightly and drastically improve their reach. They desperately need more reach. Anyways, that covers all of our new weapons. Next, we've got the new mission, the Clandestine Gloriana. This takes place in a Dorma Adeptus Mechanicus Foundryplex, and I absolutely love it. The map is our first snowy environment, and I'm enjoying the layout and confined nature of different parts of the mission. I can absolutely see some areas on this map being a nightmare in a 3-veg because your use of spacing is really restricted, especially in the first part of the map, but overall, thematically, I think that Fat Shark nailed it. Even the enemies on the map are covered in snow and ice, and that's some attention to detail that I really appreciate. And of course, Jesper Kid, the goat himself, has returned to serenade us with his sick beats. The mission also features Swagger, a character that we run into in the mission itself, who doesn't really excite me too much because I know that Fat Shark releases updates so slowly that we won't actually learn anything interesting about this character for about another year. Is he Grendel in disguise? Is he an Eldar? Alfarius? Who knows, man? Come back in a year and we might have something. The next thing that we have to talk about is that Secrets of the Machine God also featured several balance changes. I'm not going to cover every single balance change, but I will say that I'm really enjoying the Recon Lasgun again, and I think you veterans and psychers should check it out. Oh, and RIP Zealots, man. The change to Invocation of Death is really brutal, and it kills a lot of the fun that I have with the class in general. For me, it absolutely decimates the appeal of weapons like the Rashad or Eviscerator, and might funnel more people into just using the combat knife. But with all that being said, the primary rebalance in this update was actually to enemy difficulty. Reddit user unique name 001 pointed out that groaners are more dangerous, ragers are quicker, and shooters are way deadlier. For me, this has breathed new life into the game that I felt like we lost when the classes were reworked with the newer talent tree system. We've been pretty powerful for a little under a year, and I'm glad that instead of nerfing our power directly, Fatshark is choosing to buff enemy difficulty. Hopefully, moving forward, the idea is that we can continue to feel strong while dealing with the deadlier enemies that force us to pay attention and just play better. If Fatshark could buff some of the more underused weapons while leaving the more powerful weapons in the game the same, we'll be in a really good spot. Additionally, if you're having trouble with the game's increased difficulty, check out content creators like Telepots or even Tanner Lindbergh and JTC Live. Tanner certainly got a unique personality, but his Darktide videos have really valuable and relevant information that you'll need if you're going to be playing in Auric Maelstroms. I'll be updating all of the build guide shorts on my channel as well. I'm not content with the quality of those videos, and I want to make sure that I'm spreading the most relevant and useful information so that the skill level of the community continues to improve as a whole. Emperor knows some people need all the help they could get. Anyways, treat each other well, love you all, like and subscribe. This has been Jeficus, and I'll see you in-game. Oh, and P.S. I'm totally aware of Fatshark's itemization blog. I'm reserving my thoughts for when the rework actually launches. What I'll say for now is that I think the current system is fine. The crafting locks just need to be removed from items, and honestly, the simplest solutions are often the best. Alright, goodbye, take it easy.